And the visitors will be the higher seed today, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Bailey Hemphill, fabulous all year long. And look at the protection she's getting from Kaylee Tao over the last 20 games during the win streak, including a big 3-run home run after a Hemphill walk on Friday night. Run producers all up and down that lineup. They have had tremendous balance ever since a mid-April loss to Florida. They have run the table to get into the national semifinals. As Bailey Hemphill looks on, Pat Murphy, 23rd season for the Hall of Famer. 2012 national champs when they went dancing in the rain with a tremendous senior class and the precocious pitcher, the youngster Jackie Traina. A lot of similarities between her and the run that Montana Fouts is on right now. And they will face Kaylin Arnold in the circle, the former SEC pitcher at Tennessee. 10-6 on the season for Florida State.
135 Ks on the year, 31 walks. She has a tendency to work more up in the zone than down in the zone. And it's her locates. Arnold likes to throw a screwball, almost like a scry, so it's going to move out and up, away from the lefties. Let's see how she really gets on the corner, but mixing speeds is the name of the game, taking that power away. The way she flips out that changeup, she's going to need to use that today against this strong Alabama offense.
They were playing here this morning until about 2:18, so it was a late night and then an early morning to prepare. And they have been standing by watching Oklahoma beat James Madison, so we know there will be an if necessary game coming up next. As you see, Lonnie Alameda, 4th trip to the Women's College World Series, one of just 3 teams in history to lose their opening game and come all the way back to win a national championship. En route, remember, they beat UCLA twice on Sunday to advance. They need to beat the Tide twice today. Alexis Mack against that pulled-in infield, and the center fielder shading way over into left, Danny Morgan. Mack sends one that way, and Haley Mudge on the run, 1 down.
That's a base hit all day for anybody else. Perfectly placed defense, understanding Alexis Mack.
That is the lefty slapper defensive shift.
But now they're going to run back because Bailey Hemphill. So they were up as far as you possibly could be. Now they're just literally we're backpedaling to get back for the big hitter, the SEC, Bailey Hemphill.
Player of the year this year. And their career home run queen. Steps into the box after a deep breath and that shoulder shimmy. All a part of her routine. There you go. Not just the power, but the .415 average. And the eye to take 54 walks on the season. Of course, many of those, a little assist from the pitcher to not throw her anything too hot in the zone.
It's actually the 7 Ks that impressed me the most. When you're single-digit strikeouts at this point in the season, she doesn't have a lot of miss. Her selection of what she knows she can drive is huge.
First team All-American, hit one out against Arizona on Thursday night. The contrast of styles with these two batting orders.
Arnold wanted that one. Yeah. She was jumping up and down. I thought it was really close.
Similar location to the first couple pitches she got on that outside corner. And this is where Hemphill.
It's a strike.
Yeah, just really good eye. Trusting early in the game, maybe the umpire's not going to ring her up. And then she swings at that one. She's like, all right, that was a little, maybe I should swing at that. Better not push my luck.
Ron Alexander behind the plate, Liz Hammerschmidt, Jim Bertuzzi, Tom Meyer on the bases. Overcast skies to start, temps in the mid-70s, humidity's a bit high. As we've grown accustomed to this time of year here in Oklahoma City. Hemphill knocked down by Muffley at short, and Bailey will get there.
And so this is incredible. Look at the positioning of Muffley and the defense. So look at where she's at. This is a traditional shortstop position, and it just gets roped right at Muffley. But because Hemphill hits it so hard and Muffley is up the middle, she's got to dive back to that shortstop position. Hemphill's going to pick herself up a base hit.
Here's Kaylee Tao. The 3-run home run on Friday night during their 20-game winning streak. 17 runs batted in for the senior. Both these lineups, veteran groups with World Series experience. And the senior urgency of the last chance at a championship. Another one of the seniors in the circle for the Seminoles out of Maryville, Tennessee, are in her second year after the transfer. Throwing in the biggest game of her career today. She gets Tao. 2 down.
This is going to be an important pitch for Arnold all day long. It's a screwball that's going to be running away from the lefty. She steps a little bit left and just uses the angle to move that ball away from Tao. She's working from ahead and therefore can expand the zone.
Jenna Johnson, the DP.
Number 18, Jenna Johnson.
Pat Murphy likes her poise. Also gets another right-handed bat in the lineup. Three righties with the 6 lefties this afternoon for the Tide. Alabama has gotten a run on the board in both of their games here at the Women's College World Series with the quick strikes. Ball. And wins over Arizona and UCLA. The 2 titans of the sport. Right at Sherrill, and they will not get a run up to start this one. Florida State picking up the bats when we come back. Capital One starting lineup for the Florida State Seminoles out of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Anna Shellnut with the big swing. Early this morning, they were still playing on elimination Saturday night. Into Sunday morning, the solo home run set the tone against Oklahoma State and busted her out of a slump. She was just 1 for 17 prior to that. They don't have a ton of hits, but they make them count, and they cobble them together. They're 2-1 here at the Women's College World Series, and not a single batter has a multi-hit game yet. And they will face a bit of a surprise. It's Lexi Kilfoyle and not Montana Fouts.
Well, Lexi Kilfoyle is going to be a very different look from Fouts. She's got that beautiful off-speed, so down and up in the zone off the plate, but watch the drop. This is what she's known for, that combined with the off-speed. That's how she gets swing and miss. And like I mentioned, Fouts known for the rise ball. Kilfoyle will kill you down in the zone.
So the first big move of the day comes from Alabama, and they opt not to go with Montana after the perfect game on Friday night. And it will be Lexi Kilfoyle. She's 2-0 in the NCAA tournament over Alabama State and Kentucky with 22 strikeouts and just 1 walk. She had been a very good #2 all year long for Bama, got hurt late in the season. And upon her return, a rough outing in the SEC tournament, but has really rallied and looks back to form. Kaylee Mudge, the left fielder, will step in to start things off. Redshirt freshman out of Winter Springs, Florida. With their 5 returning seniors, they also have 3 freshmen and redshirt freshmen in the lineup. Mudge has provided them with some stability in the leadoff spot. She's got a hit in all 3 of their games so far. That one missed away. 3-1. Right back up the middle and through, and Mudge with the base hit to start things for FSU.
She has double amount of hits than anyone else on this team here at the World Series. This is her 4th, just understands the count, utilizing the ground. It's not a screamer in the gap, it's a base hit.
All right, so let's see if they start working the base paths with the stolen bases, with the hit and runs. They've played some short game. Sydney Sherrill swinging away. 2-time All-American from nearby Moore, Oklahoma, and a big part of their 2018 championship team. Reached base 3 times in their 2 games yesterday, a couple of walks and a hit. .301 on the season for Sherrill. Their seniors have come up with some of these clutch hits so far in the postseason.
Ball.
Whether it be Danny Morgan the other day with a big 3-run home run, or Cassidy Davis. And Sherrill as well. Coming inside, Mudge the steal, the throw down, and she's safe. Runner in scoring position quickly here for Florida State. Oh, and are they going to say she left early? Hold on. Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Take that one away.
And immediately you could see the umpire make the call. She's off the bag. Umpire's arm will go out immediately.
So 1 down instead of a runner in scoring position. And Sherrill.
And that's a big break.
I didn't know the count there. She's got to come back. It's only 3-1.
That's a big break for Alabama, because the first thing it does is for every other runner for Florida State, they're going to be a little bit hesitant on getting a real quick early jump off of that bag when they steal. That's a big part of this game. Huge part of the game for Florida State.
And Florida State is arguing that they did not count the pitch on the throw down to second base, and so the umpires will bring it together with a dead ball. Oh boy, and now we understand there's some weather in the area. So the situation is, when the runner leaves early, it's ruled a dead ball. So no pitch on that. But the bigger situation right now is we are told that there was a lightning strike in the area. And whenever that happens, they have to get the players to safety. And those clouds look a bit ominous behind us here at Hall of Fame Stadium. We had a 2-hour-plus rain delay before the night session last night, and that pushed the games back. And that's why Florida State was still playing past 2 o'clock in the morning. So apparently some more weather in the area, and that will put things on pause. Beth Mowens, Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith. The bad weather seems to be following Florida State a little bit and really making things a lot more difficult for them on their schedule. Once again, the story here is Alabama needs to win once, but Florida State wants to play twice today, and we already have another Oklahoma JMU coming up on the schedule.
Yeah, and they're scrappy. This Florida State team just does not go away. And I do think Lexi Kilfoyle getting the start is huge. I mean, we've seen the success of Montana Fouts, absolutely dominant, and it plays into Florida State's plan. What do? They put the ball in play, and they wreak havoc on the bases.
Yeah, they have a lot of speed. They like to put the ball down on the ground, and Kilfoyle throws a lot of drop balls. Now, I do have to say that Alabama's defense has been outstanding in the postseason. They've committed just one error. But it's also mentally, I think, a little bit of a different shift. You have a power pitcher in Montana Fouts who is just dominating so far. She doesn't get the start, so I think for Alabama they just need to go out there and do their job, realize that they've got great pitching in the circle, play the defense, and put some runs up on the board for themselves.
And I think it's going to come down to Kaylee Tao. You mentioned it in the open, you know, behind Bailey Hemphill. We saw her get that big hit, but then the strikeout of Tao. I know it's early in this game, but those first two hitters for Alabama are the table setters, and it's really going to be the meat of this lineup in the middle to be able to get it done.
Yeah, and unfortunately, out beyond our camera position here, as we look down over the field, we can see that they are starting to clear the fans out of the stands and at least back to the concourse level to safety. As we show you the bracket and the schedule at about 7 Eastern on ESPN2, we were hoping to bring you James Madison and Oklahoma in the if necessary game. And a weather delay on semifinal Sunday at the Women's College World Series. We'll be back in a moment. In a weather delay at the Women's College World Series, and the rain has started to fall as they are clearing out the stands. As you look at some storm clouds in downtown Oklahoma City. We are northeast. And as you see, the fans are being instructed not only to head for the concourse, but also for the stadium exits. We've already had some good action today. Our earlier matchup, must win for Oklahoma, and they did win. They avenged their loss against James Madison by beating the Dukes 6-3. So they will hopefully be playing the if necessary game this evening. But it was tight until late. And another good outing for Odyssey Alexander in the circle. But Tiari Jennings got to her early, and then they started to hit her a little bit late in the game. Kinsey Hansen with a home run as Oklahoma continues to swing some hot bats. The best offense in the country. Some will make the case that it's the best lineup at the plate that we've ever seen in the sport, and they looked good again today, Jess.
You know, it's good to see the bats start to come around. They struggled early against the same pitcher, Odyssey Alexander. That's how they got their first loss, and so to be able to come back, return. Odyssey did look a little bit different. You know, they've seen her now second time through. I imagine they're going to see her again this afternoon.
Yeah, and it's all about adjustments, right? You know what's coming. You have to attack the rise ball, but it's that off-speed drop as well. If you're not as fooled on that, you can split the zone, you can look up. But this Oklahoma offense is built for this situation. They lost the first game. If anyone can come back and put a lot of runs up on the board, it's that Oklahoma offense.
All right, that is the if necessary game to come. If we have a second, that would mean Florida State would have to beat Alabama. The Crimson Tide are just one win away from moving on. We just got things started, bottom of the first inning in a scoreless matchup.
Almost.
And light rain still falling a little bit as we keep an eye on the local radar. That included a lightning strike, so that is automatic stoppage. Back in a moment. The Sooners beat JMU earlier to force that if necessary game. As Howie reported, that could be coming up later tonight. As we resume, Sydney Sherrill with the one-out walk after Kaylee Mudge had singled, but then left the base early trying to steal second, was called out.
Long wait for a walk. Jump in the game, one pitch, you're on first base.
Tide got a hit from Bailey Hemphill in the top half of the first, but then she was stranded there. It's the 10 seed Seminoles trying to work their way out of the loser's bracket just like they did to win the title in 2018. And the Crimson Tide at 2-0. In the commanding position after wins over Arizona and UCLA. They look to beat their third straight former champ. No one in the history of the World Series has gone 3-0 with wins over former champs to make it into the finals. So they're chasing a little history. Lexi Kilfoyle is back out there. A lot more balls than strikes thus far.
She does like to attack the lower half of the zone, but she's going to need to elevate that drop ball as Montana Fouts and Coach Murphy look on.
Fouts had the perfect game on Friday night. The decision not to start her today and go with Kilfoyle, who has had a couple of good appearances so far in the NCAA tournament. She faces a batting order for the Seminoles. It hasn't been about the quantity of their hits, it's been about the quality. They have been able to bunch them together and make things happen with their speed on the bases. Had to win twice yesterday to get here. And the early morning victory over Oklahoma State that had them up past 2 a.m. local time. Ronnie Alameda in her 13th season. With Travis Wilson and Troy Cameron, the assistant coaches, trying to get the restart, get them fired back up. Kilfoyle turns to second for one, over to first. Tao couldn't hang on to the ball. Popped out of her glove. 2 down.
Well, I love that Kilfoyle immediately turned to second and said, hey, I'm going to try and turn this. So she rockets it down to Savannah Woodard, and a lot of times it's not always the second baseman making that turn. This throw over to Tao, and just on the stretch goes off the glove. I don't think they would have had Mason anyway.
No,
she runs pretty well.
She was there, yeah. So 2 down, it's the DP, Cassidy Davis.
Ball.
Remember now, 2 outs. The stolen base leader on this team is Mason over there at first base. She's 18 for 18. She's already had a couple this tournament. She will be going, I would think, at some point in this count.
If you've been following along the last few days and you've watched Montana Fouts for Alabama, heat and it's high. Smitty, Kilfoyle brings heat, but it's low.
Well, and that's about using those drop balls, rolling 100 hoppers, and letting your defense do the job for you. And Alabama has done that. Just one error in the postseason.
Davis couldn't check 1 and 2. Cassidy 2 for 9 so far in the World Series. A couple of singles. Also a big sac fly.
Oh.
And now a full count. So Mason can get a jump at first.
Cassidy Davis really deep in the box. Florida State trying to let that drop look low or get to the back half.
Strike 3 on the corner. And down goes Davis. Each side gets runners on base, cannot move them around.
The changeup, getting Cassidy Davis looking to end the inning.
Grounded to Sherrill, to second for 1, over to first, double play! Just before 2:20 a.m. local time. Elimination Saturday finally ends early Sunday morning.
Well, Florida State is very next level with their data and information they're getting about their student athletes. Lonnie Alameda shared this information with me this morning. They all wear Whoop bands. Those are personal data devices. Those graphs there, every single graph line is a player's information. You'll notice on Saturday, the red, which is the strain, is very low. Very high recovery, which is the green and the yellow. But today, look at all the red. The strain is so high. Really, only one player is actually rested and recovered for today. They have very individual information and specific things that they now know of how to get their athletes through this game today after playing until 2:18 a.m.
They had to wait through a 2-hour-plus rain delay, and then the game before them went 3 hours long before they finally took the field last night at about 11:50 local time. And played into the wee hours of the morning to stay alive and get into this semifinal matchup. And then waiting out another 2.5-hour rain delay in the middle of the first inning of this matchup. It's KB Sides, 5-6-7 for the Tide. That's one of the big discussions, right, guys? I think moving forward with the growth of the game, it's a popularity on television, you know, whether or not it's time to, you know, take a closer look at the schedule and make sure there's plenty of recovery so that these players are at their best the deeper you get into the tournament. You want your best ready to go for the championship series.
Well, Beth and Jess, I think the real story as well is that even if there are not rain delays, it's a grueling schedule. If there are 2, if necessary, games on this Sunday. So you add in the rain delays, the long games, and it's stressful.
And the strikeout of Sides, 1 down. Kalen Arnold has kept the lead off base the first couple of innings.
Arnold likes to throw this rise ball with a little bit of screw to it, so it's gonna scries away from you. It's rising and screwing away from you. So the lefties for Alabama are gonna have to figure out a way to go get that pitch.
Savannah Woodard, the second baseman. Pat Murphy has some questions about the strike zone at this point. He'll back his way into the coach's box. Savannah's got a hit so far in the first 2 games. High fly ball, Danny Morgan. 2 down. The field, after some heavy rains, appears to have dried pretty well. They were able to get most of the runoff down the drains off to the side of the fields. But what we did run into a little bit last night as we got later into the evening, there was a lot of dew that came out when the sun went down that added to the moisture out there. And whether it was a combination of that and fatigue, things did get a little sloppy in the last game of the night. Maddie Morgan. Crimson Tide are the hottest team in the tournament. They ride a 20-game winning streak. But over that stretch, Morgan has more than half of her runs batted in on the season. Been getting good production up and down their lineup. They are very familiar with Kaylin Arnold, who started out her career in the SEC in Knoxville. Now in her second year at Florida State. Jammed her. Cheryl calling for it. Got it. 1-2-3 inning for the Noles to the bottom of the second. A restart at the Women's College World Series.
The NCAA Women's College World Series is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Marvel Studios Loki. Don't miss the original series streaming this Wednesday only on Disney+. And Fairlife. Bring more to the table with Fairlife Ultra Filtered Milk.
We're working our way through our second 2-hour rain delay in the last 2 days. Bottom of the second, Alabama wins. They're into the Champ Series. If Florida State wins, that would set up an if necessary game that now would be played tomorrow. So there is a possibility that if Alabama wins, we could still see Oklahoma JMU later tonight. If Florida State wins, there's a possibility that both if necessary games then move to tomorrow, and we push the Champ Series back a day. Oklahoma already a winner. They beat JMU 6-3. Tiare Jennings, Kinsey Hansen home runs. They continue to blast their way closer to the single season home run record as a team in NCAA history. Flaherty, Morgan, and Muffley coming up. What do you think about that from the Oklahoma standpoint? You've already beaten Odyssey Alexander once today. She may be a little bit more tired tonight than she would be tomorrow. The guess would be she would still have to pitch for the Dukes.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma probably would like to try to play that game this evening. Once you're on that roll, you've already been on the field. You want to keep going, and you're winning. JMU's coming off the loss.
Flaherty is the redshirt freshman from Sarasota. And has been one of the better hitters on the team the second half of the year. She's reached base at all 3 of their games here at the World Series. And in fact, has reached 4 times.
This is what Devin Flaherty did a lot of last night, just battled. That's what Florida State will do, is try to waste pitches, get something they can put in the play, use their speed. Everyone in this lineup can lay down a bunt, even more of the power hitters. Just that hand-eye coordination they work on, almost like Pepper, just kind of swiping at the ball.
1-2 pitch. Got her. Throw down from Hemphill, and that's the second strikeout for Lexi Kilfoyle.
Well, I love the way that Hemphill's going to go down and get this. She's going to scoop it, and so this is a drop ball. It's going to work on the outer half already. But look at the way Hemphill, she pushes to the foul side and tells Tao, I'm going to throw on the foul side of the bag. That is great nonverbal communication between the catcher and the first baseman to make sure that they're not crossing the runner in the baseline. On the throw, that is.
Here's Danny Morgan. They were in big trouble in an elimination game against Arizona on Saturday, trailing late in the game. And Danny struck a massive blow. Off of Mariah Lopez, sent it out.
This is when you thought the game was over. I mean, Arizona had that 2-0 lead. It seemed like Florida State really wasn't doing a whole lot. And the 3-run slam changed the course of that game. Of course, Arizona came back to tie it, and Florida State won it late.
Well, they walked it off on the Cassidy Davis single.
Florida State has been so resilient in the postseason. In 2018, we saw them do it. In Super Regionals, Lizzie Mason had a big home run against LSU to tie up the game, and you just can never count them out.
And they have shown up here playing their best ball. You know, we've been documenting it the last few days. The batting average, the power numbers way down from what they were the last couple of years. They were not champions in the ACC during the regular season. But they hit the road in the Supers, knocked off LSU in Baton Rouge. And coming back with a couple of wins yesterday to end up in the Final Four teams in the country again. The strikeout for Kilfoyle, 2 in a row.
Kilfoyle just drop ball over the top. And see her body, she gets that strong left side down and just rips that up over the top tumble. Nice view from the ump cam on that outside corner.
The command, the ability to hit their spots, as she missed on that one, but the pitching for Alabama has been absolutely ridiculous. Look at that, 95 strikeouts and just 5 walks in the NCAA tournament.
It's amazing when they get to that full count, when you see the batters trying to battle them off, and that's usually at some point you're going to give some and the pitchers are going to walk, and instead they get the strikeouts consistently.
That's over 7 games, by the way, now into their 8th game of the postseason.
Well, Montana Fouts was throwing about 70% of her pitches as strikes, and so when you're just hammering the zone like that, you're always working ahead, and then you have hitters swinging at your pitches.
You see Fouts during the win streak, 14-0, including wins here on Thursday and Friday. There's a base hit through the right side for Muffley. Second hit of the ball game for Florida State.
Ball's in the dirt, right?
First hit for her of this World Series, and here comes Anna Shelnut. Big home run last night for Florida State to bust out of a slump. Started to rally in a big 3-run third inning.
It was a solo shot to get the inning going, and it was so quiet up until this point. Remember, this is after midnight, so you kind of felt like who's going to jump first, and it was Anna Shellnut. She was emotional in the dugout. You see the big hug there. She had tears streaming down her face. A lot that she has gone through over the course of her career. Almost unleashed in just that one hit.
Trying to provide whatever she can for her team, and that was a big swing. One-two coming from Shellnut. Reach for it, popped it up, and Kilfoyle is there to snag it. Scoreless through 2 at the World Series. Hitting 70 miles an hour plus. Back to the track. Montana Fouts, the first perfect game at Oklahoma City in 21 years. That was the celebration Friday night. Alabama's win over UCLA, 21 up, 21 down on her 21st birthday. And in her 2 wins, just the 1 run allowed, 30 strikeouts without a walk, as she put the finishing touches on just the 5th perfect game in history at the World Series.
Yeah, it was just the one mistake was to Jessie Harper late in the game to Arizona, but otherwise she has been lights out. Rise ball just ripping through the top of the zone.
4 teams have been sent home, 4 remain. Congratulations and best wishes to the coach we love to call Sweet Lou. Lou Harris-Champer announcing her retirement from the University of Georgia today. Over 1,100 wins, 7 trips to this Women's College World Series over the course of her career. 25 years, 21 of those in Athens. We're going to miss you, Lou.
Yeah, just amazing legacy, and I mean the program that she built for UGA, for the Bulldogs.
They made it back here one more time this year.
Gonna miss seeing her on the dog pile.
And a strikeout for Kaylin Arnold. 1 down here in the top of the 3rd as she gets Taylor Clark. Her 3rd. There you go, Lou Harris-Champer. 19 straight trips to the NCAA tournament. They got here this year as an unseeded team, upsetting Duke and Florida, going down to Gainesville.
That's what she does.
Yeah.
I remember watching her here back when I played. She was coaching Southern Mississippi. She got that team here. Courtney Blades, of course. The last perfect game before Montana Fouts threw hers last night 21 years ago was led by Lou Harris-Champer. And I remember I loved watching her take infield, hit to the infielders and outfield here, right here on this field. And I remember coming down and just walking and sitting in the front seat and just watching the way that it was like a finely tuned machine going, oh my goodness, like she has got them dialed in. Didn't surprise me that she went on to Georgia and did all that she did there.
Boy, they brought some really good teams here to the World Series, reached the semis a couple of times.
And you mentioned it, Jess, I mean, preparation, you know, Coach Harris would look over and over at tape, would scout her opponents, would scout her own team. So when they would show up, they were prepared for positioning, knowing a good game plan for hitters, their pitchers. It was truly incredible to watch.
Alyssa Brown just did get the end of the bat on it. Center fielder her traditional 9 spot in the lineup, essentially the second leadoff, and that's the role she has embraced throughout her career as a starter in the outfield for the Tide. Cheryl just inside the line, 2 down. Hey, the Women's College World Series continues with the Champ Series getting underway tomorrow night at 7 Eastern on ESPN. For more information, log on to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. That is on the schedule as of right now. That could end up being a semifinal, if necessary, game, depending on weather throughout the night and whether or not that Oklahoma JMU game will be able to be played. Alabama needs to win once here. Florida State would need to win twice. And if Florida State does win this game, then the NCAA may just decide we want both if necessaries tomorrow. And out of fairness for all 4 teams remaining, just play them on the same day, which is the direction they would go in. If Alabama wins here, we might just fire up the Sooners and the Dukes to get it on for the second spot. Not only the perfect game for Montana Fouts, but the Cinderella run for James Madison. Can they push it through one more day? The top seed Oklahoma roughed up in their opener and rallying for a couple of wins yesterday, possibly 2 wins today to keep their hopes alive for a 5th national championship. Alexis Mack, and in foul territory it's Kaylee Mudge. Back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings for Kaylin Arnold doing her job.
Off the bat of Gordon, back the wall, it is gone! And she got her! And the dance continues!
And a perfect present for Montana Fouts and Alabama.
Onto the back of the bleachers, there's the Oklahoma record. It's gone! Danny Morgan is not done yet!
2:20 a.m. local time. Elimination Saturday finally ends early Sunday morning. 4 remain at the Women's College World Series. And something unprecedented that the Crimson Tide are trying to pull off. Go 3-0 to get into the Champ Series by beating all former champions. Wins already over Arizona and UCLA as Morgan backhands that to retire Harding. Now trying to get a win over Florida State. In 2003, the Cal Bears beat 3 former champs to get to the finals, but they also had a loss in there against Texas. And then ended up falling in the national championship game back in those days. It was not best of 3.
05 was the first best of 3 that started up. Michigan won that first one.
UCLA got them. I believe that was the Kira Garrell no-hitter, the one and only no-hitter in a national championship final game.
Don't say that too loud around Montana Fouts.
Right.
I
She
try to
gets into
one-up
that
it.
series.
Yeah. There is no such thing as an announcer jinx. 0-2 the count. Back to the top of the order. 0-2 to Kaylee.
Ball.
Kaylee Mudge has had the best at bats for this Florida State team throughout the entire tournament, just really setting the table. She got a base hit, her last at bat in the first, ended up leaving too early on the steal. Got her. Which shows Lexi Kilfoyle the adjustment she's made, now going outside. It looks almost like a screwball. And watch how she steps towards the batter. So as a hitter, a left-handed batter, you see all of Kilfoyle. What a great view, coming at you with her body, but then the ball going in the opposite direction.
4th strikeout for Lexi. Up and in to Sydney Sherrill. Walked back in the first. They've had base runners each of the first couple of innings. Alabama so far, just the 1 hit and the 1 base runner. Pitchers have not seemed to be too affected by the lengthy delay. Holly Rowe will chat with Lonnie Alameda coming up. Our in-game coaches interview. She reported to us pregame that there were definite conversations going on amongst their coaching staff and amongst the Alabama coaches about, you know, if we are only going to play 1 game tonight, that could change things strategically a little bit, especially in the circle. But both coaches ended up sticking with their starters from earlier today. Sherrill, that could be trouble. Barehanded, Kilfoyle fires to first and gets her. Big play by the big girl, showing some quickness out of the circle.
Lexi Kilfoyle popping off of that pitching rubber, gonna barehand it, knows that she needs to be quick, gets the out.
Welcome back to the Women's College World Series presented by Capital One. Florida State coach Lonnie Alameda, and it has been a wild 24 hours for you and your group. Yep. You're here till almost 3 o'clock this morning. Then you're on the bus to go COVID test at 9:40 a.m. How are you keeping them refreshed and relaxed for this championship moment?
I mean, it's just kind of been the way we've been this whole couple weeks, you know, just getting after it. Adversity's our friend. And I think COVID, the season in general, is you bend, you don't break, and you get after what you need to get after. But I do think, you know, like, we played pretty late last night. I mean, our last ice bath was, I think, 4:15 a.m., you know, so you know, we all been talking like we've got to do something better for our athletes. It's a great game. This is such a great game, and you want to be able to make sure that we can portray the greatness of the game the best we can, you know. So I think that's in our coaches' hands. Yeah.
Yeah, important conversation coaches need to start, right?
Yep.
All right, let me ask about Kilfoyle. What can your hitters do to get to her a little better?
Yeah, got to get the ball up. I mean, she's got a mean drop ball, and we got to make sure the ball gets in up in the zone a little bit so we can get some swings off and do what we do, get base runners on so we can do what we do.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, the phrase that Lonnie used with us this week was be friends with adversity. And there has been plenty of that on and off the field throughout the season for all these teams.
You can see some of that frustration, though, starting to seep through. All the coaches saying there needs to be change. This tournament has to be longer. The men's tournament, same format, but double the amount of days.
Twice the time.
Gosh, just a matter of being one more day.
Yeah. We play quadruple headers on Thursday and Saturday.
Possibly Sundays.
Possibly Sunday into Monday.
And again, that's a tough schedule without any rain delays. So then you add in that, you add in COVID testing, you add in all the adversity we've had this year. It's tough.
All right, here's Beverly Hemphill, the only hit so far, a single for Alabama. And one of the great hitters in SEC history. She's got the power. She's got the average, does Bailey. How about that? Career home run leader. She's #1 in Tuscaloosa.
Seen a lot of records go down this season. It's almost like COVID. Everyone just got after it. I know Bailey Hemphill, that was something that she really wanted to work on with her hitting. She was always getting around everything. So hitting the ball hard, but she was susceptible to the inside. She would get jammed. made that adjustment to really keep her hands closer to her body, and it has paid off. Not just the home run numbers and the records that she's broken, but she's a .400 hitter. Very consistent.
Holly?
Well, guys, not only has she tried to work on that swing, but she really credits catching this year. She's new behind the plate. She'd done it a little bit previously in her career. She's been the full-time catcher for Alabama, and she said, I am just seeing the spin. I really see the rotation of the ball and the spin so much better. Being behind that dish for her own pitcher that's pitching it in there at 73 miles an hour, Montana Fouts, catching every one of those pitches, that has allowed her to train her eye, and that's paid off for her as a hitter.
Kat Grill is on to pinch run. Bailey can re-enter. And it's Kaylee Tao. After a walk on Friday night against UCLA, a 3-run home run, and during their 20-game winning streak, 17 RBI. Struck out in the first inning. Popped her up. Out into shallow center, Muffley. One down. Jenna Johnson lined to third to end the first inning. Another pop-up in foul territory. Cheryl with room makes the play. 2 down.
So many things on this fly ball for her to be able to go and get it. She traveled a long way. First of all, she was up above third base, and then finding the wall, knowing where it's at, holding on to the ball, the amount of ground that she had to cover, pretty much run full speed and make the catch. And Holly Rowe right there to see it.
2 down for KB Sides.
And if I'm Patrick Murphy right now, I've got a leadoff walk. Tao comes up and pops up a 1-0 pitch, and then Johnson pops up first pitch she sees.
Looking for a little more patience?
Yeah, a little more patience, trying to put the ball on the ground, right side, get productive outs. You know, if you're gonna get out, do something with it. You've got a teammate on base.
Plus, they only get one chance to pinch run for Hemphill. She's on base pretty much every single at bat, so they've burned the one chance right now with Kat Grill because it's a leadoff walk, but she's still there at first base.
Exactly.
KB takes a strike, the senior from Dora, Alabama. She's due, does not have a hit yet in the World Series. Had a big 3-run triple in the Supers for the Tide. They knocked off Kentucky. They spent most of the winning streak at home at the Rhodes House. In fact, just 3 games to start that on the road at Georgia, and then the regionals and supers were at home before they arrived here in OKC. And 18 of the 20 against ranked opponents, so they have been tearing it up against the best. But right now, Kaylin Arnold doing a good job keeping the bats quiet. Her 4th start of the postseason. Catherine Sandercock has emerged of late, but a lot of games this year, they aren't afraid to go to their bullpen and use multiple pitchers. In fact, for a while early in the season, Arnold was in more of a closer role for Florida State.
Well, there's such a good mix, too, because Arnold will attack the zone up and out with that screwball. Sandercock's a lot of down and off.
Called strike 3 on the change. She's been working on that pitch, and it's looking good tonight.
Minnie, you mentioned she'll throw that screwball away, but then she finishes with the off speed, same location, gets KB Sides frozen, the strikeout.
Welcome back to the Women's College World Series presented by Capital One, here with Alabama head coach Patrick Murphy. And coach, your team comes into this in the winner's bracket on a 20-game winning streak. How do you carry that momentum to another win into the Champ Series today?
Well, I think you just got to do the three things that you need in high-level softball. One, have a really good start from your pitcher. Two, play great team defense. And then the third thing, which we haven't got yet, is a key two-out base hit.
Important to do. You guys have faced Kaylin Arnold a lot when she was at Tennessee. How does that familiarity help you, or how different is she right now as a pitcher?
Well, we saw her a little bit last year, too, when we went to a tournament at Florida State. But, you know, I think at the end of the year, everybody is better than what we saw them before. You know, Kilfoyle's better, Montana's better, their pitchers are better, and everybody's like, they're playing their best right now. So we need to figure out a way to hit her.
The rain delay, does it stop the momentum at all, or to get some juice back with your kids?
No, I don't think so. I think they probably enjoyed it a lot more than me, but no, I think it was fine.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Holly.
Bye-bye.
Lexi Kilfoyle's just been hammering the lower zone with this vertical break of the drop ball just down in the dirt. You look at the way it starts above the knee and just will dump down. I love the rotation, the way that she throws this pitch. She can blend it to the outside. But look at the rotation, the way that ball just over the top, a 12-6 rotation on her drop ball. Really heavy and late. 4 Ks, just the one base on ball, couple of hits scattered. Nice start for Kilfoyle.
Scoreless into the bottom of the 4th. Elizabeth Mason 3-4-5. I'll bring a couple of veterans to the plate. They have 5 players in the lineup from their 2018 championship team. Mason made the All-Women's College World Series team with a couple of home run balls. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 1st. There's another one of the stars, Sydney Sherrill. 0-2 from Kilfoyle. There you go on the current roster. And most have come up with some big hits already this postseason, including the Davis walk-off, the Shellnut home run, Morgan home run. And the strikeout of Mason. Number 5 for Kilfoyle, 1 down.
And it's that drop ball again over the top. Love the way she gets her body forward. And from the ump cam and the batter's view, you could just see Kilfoyle coming at you nice and tall, gets over top of that pitch. That's the mark of a good drop ball. You want to release it and throw it from high to low.
Cassidy Davis struck out looking at the off speed in the 1st. Trying to match Oklahoma from 2017 as the lowest seeded national champion. They come in as a 10. They are looking for a Sunday sweep. Well, started out the day looking for a Sunday sweep. Coming out of the losers bracket to get to the finals. It's happened 7 times in history. They did it a few years ago. Alabama has been on the losing side of that when Florida got them twice back in 2011. That really was that was a fake 10 seed. That Oklahoma team, remember that year, was
yes.
very underseeded, but nonetheless they got the title. Florida State was a 6 when they won here. Alabama played 2 games on Sunday 2 years ago. They beat Oklahoma to force a if necessary, and then the Sooners beat them in the 2nd game. It's a 2-2 to Davis. Another strikeout, number 6 for Lexi. 2 in a row here in the 4th.
Perfectly located, very close, could have gone either way, ball or strike, but it's over the plate. Actually, no, that clips the bottom of the zone, and the reaction from Davis is that she thought this was nowhere near it, but you see that perfect rotation, the frame by Hemphill.
That's 3 swinging and 3 looking so far. Devin Flaherty with 2 out. Is that one off? Of course, every time you see Florida State here at the World Series, you think of Dr. Joanne Graff. You know, before the NCAA, it was called the AIAW. That's what women played in collegiately. Dr. Graff, AIAW national champions twice. And then under the NCAA, it took them on their 10th try. They kept coming back. They kept knocking on the door. And finally on that 10th try in 2018, the Noles won it all. Flaherty out in front.
You know what's interesting, Smitty, about Lexi Kilfoyle's off-speed is it's not traditional. I mean, she'll throw it up in the zone, which is usually a mistake, but I think for hitters, they see it fat. Swing at it, and then it's still floating.
It's got that real quick spin, so it looks like it's coming faster than it is.
Reach down for it. Everybody's okay. Side. And that's 4 of the last 5 for Kilfoyle.
Lexi Kilfoyle just using both sides of the plate and really spinning, works the outside. She says, hey, I can mix speeds as well, but don't forget about the inside drop.
Oklahoma and JMU, they've beaten each other once. They are set to play again later tonight. Look at the numbers. The record watch continues. They are set to shatter the single season marks. Batting average, slug, runs scored, and they are getting closer now. 154 home runs. Hit a couple more today in their 6-3 win over the Dukes. So it's a winner-take-all game set for tonight for a spot in the championship series. Pitchers duel into the 5th inning, Alabama and Florida State. Kaylin Arnold, Lexi Kilfoyle keeping the bats quiet. Six, 7, 8. Savannah Woodard.
And this is interesting, the way they've got the lefty Woodard set up. The defense is shifted over, almost like she's a slapper. You can see, look at all this vision. If I'm a lefty, I'm thinking I want to get around anything and pull it to that right side.
Well, that's the importance now, Smitty, where the game has evolved. So many times Slapper has just picked apart that 5-6 hole left center field. So traditional defense would be to play them there. But when you can swing away and pull it to that gap, you're right. That's almost an easy triple.
And because she's not always slapping. I mean, she's standing in on some. Just missed that.
First time they really came in. Arnold's been really working these lefties away, using that screwball. And it's been getting called too, so having to protect anything middle away.
Shilma coming out for a chat. Hey, Monday Night Baseball is the first of a 3-game set between the NL Central leading Cubs and the Padres, who trailed the Giants by a game in the NL West. Monday Night Baseball at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on ESPN and the app.
Like a fun time. So many teams close together.
Cubs took 3 from the Padres in Wrigley last week, so now they're out on the West Coast.
We've been calling some Cubs games, Beth.
It's been a lot of fun. Yeah. A lot of fun. 2-2 to Woodard. Right at Patrick Murphy is a veteran coaching staff of Allie Habits and Stephanie Van Brakel pro throw. Allie, the first base coach. Stephanie handles the pitchers, the former All-American. It's a staff that's been together a long time. A lot of success. Allie played here at the Women's College World Series back in her day. Ninth pitch. Good battle here, Arnold and Woodard. Gets her to pop it up. And it's tracked down by Sydney Sherrill, one away. After the Hemphill single in the first, Kaylin has now retired 12 of the last 13 that have come up.
Very quiet, both teams offensively.
Just one hit, Bailey Hemphill, and she is also the only one that has been on base. She walked.
So many lefties in this Alabama lineup, 6 of the 9 batters, all from the left side. And Kaylin Arnold does such a good job with setting up the lefties. She's almost a reverse split. A lot of times you have worse numbers against lefties as a right-handed pitcher, but it's that screwball.
Morgan waits on it. Goes Oppo. And a one-out base runner for the tie. The go-ahead aboard. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, as we mentioned, Alabama's on a 20-game win streak, and they had a real coming-to-you-know-who moment middle of the season. You know, they weren't doing well. The SEC championship was likely out of reach, and they had a meeting that they shared with their coach that they were feeling very vulnerable. They'd lost hope. Everything seemed like it was going against them with injuries and COVID and everything that was piling up on them mentally. And they watched a movie about hope and having hope, and it just reset their minds. They reset their goals. Okay, we can't win the SEC, but we can win the SEC tournament, which they did. We can get to Oklahoma City, which they did. And now here they are, a win away from the Champ Series. that reshift of their focus and their mental mindset after their Florida loss has changed the course of their season.
The mentality of every athlete is what it's all about. Just, you know, when you get to that elite level, with all these athletes are at, a lot of times it's the 6 inches between your ears that are just as important as what's going on below the head.
Especially when you get setbacks, you know, you feel like then it just carries so much more weight when you get perspective of like, okay, but we're still a really good team.
Davis, the pinch runner, will head for second, and she is in safe, so into scoring position. Ruled a pass ball.
That's the ball that definitely needs to be caught. Shelnut behind the plate, just off the heel of her glove, and actually, Kayla Davis got a pretty bad jump. It shouldn't have been a close play. Ends up being a little bit closer.
So their first runner in scoring position here for Taylor Clark, the number 8 batter, struck out in the third. 1-2.
Her sole job right now is to productive out, hit the ball to the right side. She's a .185 hitter. A lot of strikeouts, but what she does well is when she can just place a ball to move a runner, shorten up with 2 strikes.
That's 3 runs batted in for them so far in the NCAA tournament. Oh! Inside pitch off the helmet, and Clark appears to be all right and will head down to first.
I think her helmet's broken. Looked like it hit the bill of the helmet and it cracked it.
Probably scared her more than anything.
Oh, right on the bill.
She is lucky, and she does not have a cage on.
Ooh. I mean, that's an inch lower. That gets her right in the eye.
Send it down to Holly.
Well, guys, it looks like she's quickly back out on base. She went in, got a different helmet. I was just going to say, you know, they did change the rule this year that if you need to take a player out to evaluate for concussion, that they are able to re-enter, not the typical re-entry rules for softball. But looks like she's fine. She came quickly in and out of the dugout. It does not look like she needs any evaluation.
Thank you, Holly. And we're watching the replay. You could see the cracked bill of the helmet.
Oh, but I'm just so glad it got the helmet because it could have cracked something else, and it barely clipped just that bill.
So it looks like Kilfoyle's going to come in to hit. A lot of times it depends on how the lineup is written. Coach Murphy, who he attached the designated player to.
This is a common move from Murph, and with Alyssa Brown in the bottom of the order, he wants a power hitter instead of a slapper here.
She does have 47 at-bats on the season. She's had double, 10 hits, and a home run. So to your point, Smitty, a little bit more of that power.
Tide's first opportunity of the game to drive somebody in with Davis down at second, Clark at first, and the one out here in the top of the 5th. If the Tide win, they are into the Champ Series. If Florida State wins, the if necessary game is tomorrow.
That's what's so unique about that designated player position within a lineup is Alyssa Brown, known for speed, the short game. Lexi Koifel, who's pitching in this game, but can switch into that spot when they need a power hitter.
Well, some people might be wondering, well, why don't you just hit Kilfoyle? Well, because if you have to bring Montana Fouts in, who is not a hitting pitcher, you would not want to have Kilfoyle in. So a lot of times it has to do with possibilities. If you have to bring in a pitcher, how you have to rearrange not just your hitting order, but your defense.
Here's the 1-2 from Arnold. Big strikeout for Arnold with the top of the order coming up.
Arnold with the rise ball going right underneath the hands of Kilfoyle. Look at the rotation on it, so it's got a little up, a little in. Really well located pitch.
And with the top coming up, third time through the order, the pitching change. Arnold departs. Catherine Sandercock will come on to throw here for the Seminoles with a couple of Alabama runners on base. Four and 2/3 for Kaylin Arnold. Just the 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, really held the Tide at bay. Responsible for the 2 that are on base. As Kat Sandercock will come on. Picked up 2 wins yesterday for Florida State, and she was the pitcher in the circle at about 2:17 this morning, getting the final out on the double play. Holly?
Well, I talked to her before this game about what time she went to bed, so she got out of the stadium, went back to the hotel, and then she took an ice bath to ice down that arm and her legs. She didn't go to sleep until about 4 o'clock this morning, and then they had to be up on the bus for COVID testing at 9:40 a.m.
Short turnaround, but this is for a spot with the top of the order and Alexis Mack coming up with 2 on base and 2 outs. Semi-final Sunday at the Women's College World Series. Not trying to drop it down, and it's 0-2.
Sandercock, a completely different look than Arnold. She's all dropped down bottom of the zone. She'll use her different angles, where Arnold was a lot of rise ball, screwball.
She has hit into the shift twice, and by that we mean the outfield shift pulled way over to the left and the infield way in. A couple fly balls to Mudge. Pulls this one to the right side, and the scoop over to first for Flaherty. Threat ended as Sandercock comes on in relief. Let's revisit the play of the tournament so far. It was on Friday. Odyssey Alexander out of the circle, applying the tag to preserve the win as she gets Scotland David headed for home. Outstanding defensive effort. That kept JMU at 2-0 and in the winner's bracket. And for more on Holly Rowe, because there was a tweet from the Seattle Mariners to go with it, Holly.
Well, that's right. I think all of America is kind of falling in love with Odyssey Alexander and the grit and determination and competitive fire she brings. And how about this tweet from the Mariners? This was an Odyssey Alexander appreciation play. They had a similar play in their recent game, and I just love that they they thought of women's softball. They thought of women in this moment, and that they are appreciating her just like the rest of America. That is so cool. Well done, Seattle Mariners.
Looked like that was Will Vest, I think, that was making
he's a pitcher.
diving
He's a
play.
pitcher for the Mariners. So pitcher,
Awesome.
some pitcher love. One of the best plays we've seen here.
Great to see with our wall-to-wall coverage, our entire crew. You know, we talk about the teams. As Morgan lays one down, and she'll be safe at first as it got under the glove of Kilfoyle. But our entire crew working early mornings, late nights, overnights, doing a fantastic job bringing you all the sights and sounds.
Trying a sneaky bunt from the right side, and it just goes off of Kilfoyle's glove. Tal tries to recover, but Woodard not at the bag.
Scored a base hit for Morgan, so the go-ahead aboard for Florida State here in the bottom of the 5th.
I love what they give for pitchers.
That should have been it.
If that was anyone else on the field going for a regular play and it hits their glove, and I think even Danny Morgan would say that that wasn't a hit, but hey.
It's their third of the day. Had a couple on board in the first, but since then haven't been able to put anything together. They had 5 hits Thursday and lost, 4 hits Saturday and 1 to beat Arizona, and then 5 hits Saturday night / Sunday morning, and that was enough to beat Oklahoma State.
They've used their speed effectively. They've induced a lot of errors.
Josie Muffley has one of the hits today. They do not have a Seminole with a multi-hit game through the first 3 here at the World Series.
Just watch for movement, and not even maybe classic stolen base movement, but bunt and runs, hit and runs, a ball in the dirt that's even caught, taking an extra base. Not very traditional with just trying to hit every single time.
Out to center, and Brown is there. 1 down.
Lexi Kilfoyle, what she has done an awesome job of so far. I love her off-speed drop. Look at the rotation on this pitch. It looks like a strike, falls off the table, and you pull the string. It's a dual threat. And then the curveball, look, over the plate in the strike zone. Right-handed batters, I commit. But now it's a ball off the plate for strike 3. We've seen her do a really good job with her deception. Strikes that turn into balls.
7 strikeouts so far for Lexi. Here's Anna Shellnut. And there's a hard shot through the 5-6 hole, and a couple aboard for Florida State.
Florida State coming out aggressive this inning. The bunt on the first pitch. Shellnut swinging on the first pitch, bashes it through the 5-6 hole.
Looks like Kyle Presti will come on here as the pinch hitter. They are just 1 for 18 with a runner in scoring position here at the World Series. They've got 2 on base here with 1 out, and she'll come on here in the 9 spot. .227 on the season. 4 runs batted in. Trying to pass the bat to the top of the order here. And now Patrick Murphy will come out to chat. Looks like he's got the scouting report, the stat sheet with him. It's not a big sample size for Kaya this year. He's spending a lot of time looking at his third baseman, Maddie Morgan.
I think a lot of it is because of the movement that they can do. So it seemed like the conversation, Maddie Morgan was the one nodding. So I think a little bit of an update on Lepreste, what she can hit, but also maybe some of the things that they can do, what to be a heads up for, any kind of movement coming to the third base side.
Here's our bracket, James Madison and Oklahoma, time permitting. Hopefully they will be coming up next. Winner take all for a spot in the finals. Alabama needs one win tonight. Florida State needs to win to play an if necessary game with the Tide tomorrow.
And that's what it was, is they had Maddie Morgan play back, and they're going to have Lexi Kilfoyle cover that third base side. So now Morgan's able to stay close to third base. She was up in further. And then if she squares around the butt, watch Maddie stay back, and Kilfoyle will be in charge of that side.
Morgan and Shell not aboard after their singles. 1 and 2. Strikeout number 8.
This is a drop away. Look at, again, looks like a strike. Look at the depth of this pitch, then drops below the knee, and the wave of Lepreste to try to even just make contact with that pitch. That's a sign of a really deceptive pitch, is when a hitter.
69% of their outs at the World Series, strikeouts. Not giving him a chance to put the ball in play. Mudge grounds it to short. Clark's got to hurry and does not get it there in time. She waited behind the base runner, and that was too long as Morgan got in front of her to third. And the base is now loaded.
And this is a situation where this ball is hit to the shortstop. And look at Taylor Clark is just going to wait. And because she waits.
Well, and she has priority. I mean, she can go right after that ball, run into the runner, and the runner would be out.
She is not their starting third base, starting shortstop to open the season. It is actually the 4th stringer at the beginning of the year, but due to injuries, she had to become the starter mid-season.
She needed to keep going. She would have run right into her, and Danny Morgan would have been out.
Yeah, you have to go get that. When it's a slow developing play and a high hopper like that, with anyone speedy go down the line, you've got to go get that ball.
Bases loaded for Sydney Sherrill. Looked like she might have even had a chance to make the play at second base there for the out. Big opportunity here. Back in her home state, the junior from Moore had huge hits for them in their run to the 2018 National Championship. Oh, and 2.
Well, it looked like Kilfoyle had a little extra on that pitch.
Yes, right?
She hit 70.
All right, we're done with the ground balls. I'm just going to get you out. That was the mentality of that one.
Just missed it away.
Well, that's where she needs to be careful. Near that far ahead, 0-2.
It's a ball, but it's close. It's very close. Stop the plate.
Ball.
2-2.
Ball.
Wow, Cheryl starts out 0-2 and works it the full count.
Laying off some close pitches.
After 2 quick strikes, 3 straight balls. Three-two pitch coming, bases loaded. Scoreless in the national semis.
These are situations if Cheryl does make contact and puts it out on the green, a lot of runs can come in with 2 outs and a full count, bases loaded. Everybody's going to be willing it.
And runners are going on the pitch. And just a simple base hit scores 2 easily.
Oh.
Walked her, and Florida State has the lead. What an at-bat for Cheryl.
This is a drop ball, but it's just down at the knees. Little bit low. Second ball, base on ball of the game. And Cheryl, that's a great take. It is so easy to swing at that pitch. Full count, bases loaded. Wow.
1-0 Noles. Lizzie Mason, bases still juiced. Nervous energy from Montana Fouch, chewing on the cup in the dugout. And quickly again, an 0-2 count on a Seminole batter. Three singles and a walk in the inning. Mason fouled it off her leg. Ooh, top of the foot. Just the second time in the NCAA tournament that Alabama has trailed. Briefly against Kentucky in the Supers. First time they've been held scoreless this late in a game. And the pop-up taken care of by Woodard to run in to the 6th inning, and a must-win for the Noles. They grab the lead.
Out in right field, Lyle Bro, JDH. Hey, Florida State, they've shown us some dramatic finishes in this tournament already.
Yeah, you kind of feel like they have Bama right where they want him late in the game with an opportunity to get a run here in the late innings.
Yeah, this pitcher's duel is definitely shaping up with these drop ball pitchers rolling a lot of ground balls. Yeah, Michelle's got to be loving this.
Pitching, and now here's a big decision for Florida State with Catherine Sandercock on in relief. Bailey Hemphill can tie it up with one swing. She's leading off the inning. Do you just put her on base?
I would. They already burned her runner.
I think you unintentionally walk her. Like, so in other words, you throw and hope that she's going to chase. I mean, we know she doesn't
She's got a very good eye, but she has just set the all-time walks record here at the Women's College World Series in SEC history, passing Amanda Lorenz. Walked in the fourth. That's when they used her pinch hitter. Singled in the first. So if Bailey does get on base, she would have to stay on, representing the tying run. The outfield is deep. Hit a home run here in the opener on Thursday for the Tide. One run across for Florida State. In the bottom of the fifth, they loaded the bases, and then a walk to Sydney Sherrill brought a run in. That's all they could muster as Kilfoyle worked out of it. Montana Fouts, by the way, did hustle out to the bullpen between innings. Sherrill fires to first, and they still got her. Quick recovery by Sydney, one down.
Belly Hempel a lot of times thinks, I'm going to smoke the middle. She still gets around the ball, but just tattoos this at Sydney Sherrill, who was really well positioned. She is way off the line. This ball hit right at her. She recovers, guns it across Lizzie Mason. Big stretch. Sigh of relief.
Yeah, because they know that may be the last time they'll have to deal with Bailey. Here in the top of the sixth inning, Tao pulls it to second. Flaherty is there. One out away from assuring themselves of a lead into the seventh inning in a must-win game for Florida State. If they do win this, there would be two if necessary games, and both would be pushed to tomorrow. Oklahoma and James Madison, the other one. Ball. And that would bump game one of the championship series from Monday back to Tuesday. We had a lengthy weather delay last night. We were playing softball here until after 2 a.m. And then another 2.5-hour rain delay this afternoon. In the 39-year history of the tournament, it's happened twice that we have had to play all 4 semifinal games. Johnson, a liner, and on the move is Danny Morgan. And a quick 1-2-3 inning, 1-0 Noles.
The NCAA Women's College World Series is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Fairlife. Bring more to the table with Fairlife Ultra Filtered Milk.
Welcome back to the NCAA Women's College World Series, presented by Capital One. Semifinal Sunday, and a happy birthday to you. And a 1-0 Florida State lead over Alabama. Must win for the Noles as we move to the bottom of the sixth. They are 3 outs away from forcing an if-necessary game. And looking to end Alabama's 20-game winning streak and win a 7th straight elimination game at the World Series, dating back to their 2018 title run. They lost their opener that year, had to win 6 straight games, 5 of those elims. They lost their opener here and are trying to do the exact same thing. Beat Arizona and Oklahoma State yesterday. Pop-up Woodard calling for it. 1 down.
It's crazy. Alabama, just the 2 hits. Such a quiet offense for being fully rested, and Holly Rose done a great job of telling us about Florida State's path, being up all night last night, getting up early this morning, and yet they're the ones still with the foot on the accelerator.
Sometimes it's more important to get on a roll than to roll out of bed or have that rest.
This is Devin Flaherty, who has struck out a couple times. The 1 run after 3 straight singles, a walk with the bases loaded to Sydney Sherrill. Lexi Kilfoyle with the 8 strikeouts. But it's been Florida State's ability throughout the season to just figure out a way to get 1 more run than the other guys, and they are 3 outs away from the if necessary. In the top of the 7th, they will face 5, 6, and 7 in the lineup.
And Beth, to your point, I mean, think about it. All their games are battles. They're 1-run games. They're very tight, so they get used to playing under duress, under stressful conditions, which is what the World Series is.
Yep. It's all they've been doing all season long. It's what they do.
Danny Morgan scored the game's only run. And as good as Lexi Kilfoyle has been, I mean, she's only given up the 1. You know, I'm sure there will be questions about whether or not you would have preferred going with Montana Fouts and how her being in the circle affects the psyche of your entire team at the plate.
Well, yeah, if I'm Florida State, I am excited to see Lexi Kilfoyle in the circle, and nothing against her as much as it is the dominance of Montana Fouts. You've been watching these games. You saw the perfect game Friday night if you're Florida State, and you were expecting maybe coming into this game to see her, which I think was maybe part of the strategy of Patrick Murphy. Maybe they're preparing for rise balls who come in with Lexi, who's more down in the zone.
I don't know. I was always more excited to see down than up. Give me a drop ball all day long.
And this team
as a hitter. Yeah.
As a hitter, yeah, absolutely. As a hitter. I know Jess likes the rise ball, but I couldn't hit the rise ball. I had to like not swing at it or I struck out.
Well, I struck out against it too. Well, doesn't mean I didn't like it.
It just looks so good.
1-2 to Morgan. Ball. 2-2.
Yeah, Danny Morgan, the lone run, as you mentioned, Beth, I mean, it was on a bunt. Back to Lexi Kilfoyle that was misplayed. I would have recorded as an error.
Yeah, and then how about the play to shortstop that Taylor Clark did not charge? All right, that extended the inning. That was with 2 outs.
2-2 to Morgan. Danny Morgan, a gapper going the other way. Off the wall and right center. Danny motors around to second and will head for third after the miscue by Brown, who could not pick it up cleanly out in center.
Well, after the bunt single, you look at Danny Morgan, the swing, middle away, just gets to contact, the off-speed pitch off the wall, and Brown. What I love, though, about Morgan out of the box is she's already thinking 3, even though this is a double all the way. And watch her, head and eyes up. Watching Brown, she's not looking at the third base coach, she's looking at the plate. As soon as Brown dropped that ball, she was prepared to get to third base.
Looking for some insurance, Josie Muffley. A single and a line out.
Mojo, Florida State, yep. Oh, they're making it and spreading it.
I think that was Megan King, too.
Yes, it was.
It was the MOP of the national championship run.
She knows what they're making. She's like, hey, need you guys to make some magic right now? I'm gonna throw it at the team.
One to Muffley. Ball. 2-1. Van Brakel pro throw heads out. JMU looking on, wondering if they will get an opportunity to play tonight. Hello.
Hi.
How you doing, Dukes?
I think they could see
Lauren
us way up
Laporte's
here.
getting some dinner, just in case. They're going to be going with the Sooners later. Here's the story. If Alabama rallies to win, and it's a decent hour of the evening, we will see JMU and Oklahoma. But if this score holds and Florida State wins to force the if necessary with Alabama, then both games would move to tomorrow. Game 1 of the Champ Series on Tuesday.
And how about Florida State capitalizing on a couple of mistakes by Lexi Kilfoyle? That pitch to Danny Morgan was left sweet, and then Muffley getting another one that is right down the middle. It's elevated above the knee, and Muffley just drives it the opposite way. Look how pretty and simplistic this is. Barrel it up and bash it by the right side.
Their most hits in a single game here at the World Series this year. 7 of them now. And Morgan and Muffley manufacturing that run. They are the first 2 with multi-hit games, and Muffley just picked up her first RBI of the postseason. They have come up clutch time and again. Oh, and Muffley may have hurt herself trying to get a jump off the base at first. Going to check with the trainer, and they will go ahead and make a move to a pinch runner here. This is huge. Muffley is their starting shortstop. And it's going to be Deion Riggs as they will check out Muffley. A run in the 5th, a run in the 6th. The late scores for Florida State with the lead. And a shell nut. Riggs goes to throw, and Riggs will advance to 3rd. As Woodard couldn't pick it.
This Florida State team just runs so well. They're aggressive, good jumps, great turnovers. They know how to slide, go into the bag, and the second they see the ball down, there is no hesitation. You can tell that Lonnie Alameda and company really coach up these kids to run situationally.
Run and react.
Yeah.
Now Shellnut, who had the big home run, has a chance to drive in another run here. The triple by Danny Morgan. She has scored both of their runs. Here in the 6th, driven in by the Muffley single. And now her pinch runner, Riggs, 60 feet from home.
James Madison right now, sitting out in left field, is cheering big time for Florida State. They win this game, they get to wait until tomorrow, which they got to see Alexander right there with the blue water bottle.
It's on the phone.
Pretend phone.
Guilfoyle got Shelnutt to reach for it. The throw down to first to end the inning. But another run in, 2-0. And Catherine Sandercock will try and protect it and close it out. Cat in the circle to see Sides, Woodard, and Morgan in the semifinals. Let's check out tonight's high performance plays brought to you by Invesco QQQ.
Oh, it's Caitlin Arnold nailing the strike zone with that pitch on the outside corner to the lefties, mixing some speed to the rise ball up, and just really keeping Alabama off balance. Just 2 hits on the evening, giving up 5 strikeouts. Very efficient for Caitlin Arnold.
She got the start. Catherine Sandercock on in relief. They have held the Crimson Tide. Coming in on a 20-game winning streak. They looked incredible through their first couple of games to just 2 hits. They've only had 4 on base tonight. And they are down to their last at-bat, or there will be an if-necessary game with the Seminoles tomorrow. The knee brace on the left leg of their shortstop, Josie Muffley, who got hurt on the bases in the bottom half of the inning. 1 down. Holly?
Well, we saw Muffley limp off the field. She has come back out at shortstop, but it's very intriguing. They just threw down this knee brace out of the crowd. They ran it out onto the field and put it on. She was so familiar with it, it leads me to believe this is a knee that she has had issues with before, because that brace fits her perfectly, and she knew how to get right into it to see if it's an issue.
Absolutely, she has battled issues and still so resilient, and has made some amazing defensive plays this entire year. One of the toughest athletes on this team, Lonnie Alameda, just inspired by how well and how hard she plays the game.
Savannah Woodard. Incredible job by the Seminole pitchers to keep the bats quiet for Alabama so far. Strike of the knees, 2-1. Woodard a fly out to center, a pop up to third. They had a threat in the 5th. And then a strikeout of Lexi Guilfoyle, and they induced a ground out of Alexis Mack. Sandercock out of the circle, 2 down. If Florida State wins, this will bump both of the if necessary games to tomorrow here at Hall of Fame Stadium, and will bump the Champ Series back a night as James Madison and Oklahoma await. Strike to Maddie Morgan. A conversation with Maddie Morgan disguised as an opportunity for Patrick to share some thoughts with the home plate umpire on his way there and on his way back. Tide looking for a 2-out rally. Maddie does have one of their 2 hits, a single in the 5th. 2-1.
Sandercock nibbling at the bottom of the zone.
Morgan, grounder to Flaherty. Over to Mason, and that'll do it. In a must-win, they do win. 2-0. Seminoles end Alabama's 20-game winning streak and force the if necessary. And that means that JMU and Oklahoma will now bump their if necessary game to tomorrow as well.
Pure execution. We talked so much about how tired, how late, and you see the smiles and honestly, the aggressiveness of this Florida State team from the very beginning. They were swinging early, they were running fast. The coaching of Lonnie Alameda has prepared them for these elimination games, and they continue to shine.
Yeah, and everything that you need to do in order to win championships, they've done. They've had strong starts in the circle. They've had their defense behind their pitchers, and then of course they come up big with hits when they've needed to late in the game in the 5th and 6th inning, putting runs up on the board.
Our amazing World Series here in 2021 continues. It's just the 3rd time in history that both undefeated teams lose their games in the semis to force both if necessaries. It was Danny Morgan with the big triple. She scored both of their runs tonight. And she is the Capital One Player of the Game with Holly Rowe.
Well, Danny, for the 2nd straight day, you keep your season alive with your bat. How crucial was it for you to come up big in those moments?
I'm just so proud of my team. We're just going into those moments thinking pass the bat and do what we can, not making the moment too big. And I'm just so proud of the team. Today was such a long day, and we never gave up fight.
I wanted to ask you about that. I'm exhausted. I don't know how you're doing this on 4 or 5 hours of sleep. How hard was it? What was the greatest challenge you overcame in this game?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Going to bed at 4 a.m., waking up, having the rain delay today. We're emotionally, mentally, physically exhausted. I wish we could say we were in the locker room playing music between games, but honestly, we were just doing what we can to stay focused and get ready for the next game.
How crucial is it you will now have another day to play in this World Series? You can get some rest tonight, and you'll come back and play another game tomorrow.
Yeah, it's super crucial. This team, we just don't give a fight. We're gritty, we're resilient, and I'm just so happy that I get another chance to play another day with them.
Danny Morgan, you're a senior. You said your experience in this moment on a national championship team is leading the way. How so?
Just being here before, we kind of know what to expect, and sharing that knowledge with the team and the underclassmen has been huge. And at this point, we've all been here for a week now, so we all kind of have that experience, and everyone's just staying calm and being in the moment.
All right, I will not keep you another moment. Go get some rest, young lady.
Thank you.
Danny Morgan and the Seminoles, a 2-0 win over Alabama. And the streak continues for them, their 7th straight elimination game at the World Series over their last couple of trips here. They came out of the losers bracket to win in 2018. They are trying to do it again, and that dream is still alive. So here is your updated bracket. Tomorrow afternoon on ESPN at 4 Eastern, it's Oklahoma and James Madison. And we will follow that up with Alabama and Florida State. The winners advance to the best-of-3 championship series, which will start on Tuesday night. Both undefeated teams lose on semifinal Sunday at the Women's College World Series. More softball for everyone tomorrow, a doubleheader on ESPN. We'll be back at 4 o'clock Monday afternoon. Bonus softball from OKC.